Because I always think like horror movie directors, guys that like gore and like the blood and like you probably hate. Well, you know, do you like the real stuff? Like
I
real
do hate it.
hate it.
Yeah.
See, that's
People
what
think
usually
I'm
is.
lying when I say
No,
that. I
I
can't.
love crime stuff. I
Yeah.
love crime dramas and all that stuff, but I don't like seeing real death.
Mm-mm.
So what is it? Why do we like the gore and as long as it's not real? What is that?
I think that's the sort of the gateway because violence is so profound. It's everywhere. It could hit you at any moment. We're so vulnerable, and I don't think we realize on a daily basis just how vulnerable we are.
Right.
And for me, anyway, and that's the way I always kind of dealt with it. It's kind of tackling your fears, your greatest primal fears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always felt that sort of there was a power when I was a kid. Because like I said, watching these movies at a very young age, 4 or 5 years old, and I'd see adults getting really scared and freaked out, and they can't. I'm like, but I could watch it. And it gave me sort of like a power. I'm like, why am I able to conquer this when they can't?
Right.
And I always explored that as a kid. And I started getting more into every aspect of it, especially creatures and monsters, like why I gravitated toward fantastic creatures.
Right.
And then it just got to a point where watching the movies wasn't enough. Now I had to be the one making them. I had to be the one scaring people now.
But the thing is, I think you say 4 or 5 years old. What parent is allowing their kids to watch? Because my mother at 8 years old used to say, "Oh, I rented these horror movies. Everyone's too scared to watch them. You're going to watch them with me." And it was like Motel Hell and Make Them Die Slowly as an 8-year-old. I'm like,
all right, Make Them Die Slowly was one of the ones I watched. That was actually one of the ones that my mother had a problem with me watching.
Because it seemed too real and raw.
Yeah.
That was savage.
That's next level.
What was it like? Did you have a good upbringing?
Very.
Really?
Very
Staten
good.
Island?
Staten Island, a lot of friends, like very typical. A lot of sports playing in the street, a lot of friends. But I guess, I don't know. My mother named me after The Omen.
Look, I swear to God, that's one of my questions.
Yeah.
I go, did your mother name you after The Omen? Damien.
Yeah.
Damien.
It was.
Why would she do that?
So, well, she tells me, I mean, she's been telling me my whole life, right? But when she saw, first of all, she loves movies, all movies, especially action and horror movies. And she saw The Omen in the movie theaters. And she said, if I ever have a boy, I'm naming him that. I just love that name. And it was especially from the scene where the nanny hangs herself and she goes, "It's all for you, Damien."
It's all for you, Damien.
That's when the name just clicked with her. It was that scene in particular. And,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of like when I'm sure when she told her friends, they're like, okay.
My grandmother refused to call me Damien. She was very religious.